in bonds. What is a bond? Let's first define unsa ning bond. A bond is a formal unconditional promise made under seal to pay a specified sum of money at a determinable future date and to make periodic interest payments at a stated rate until the principal sum is paid. So if you could notice, meron tayong unconditional promise to pay. Therefore, na ay utang na nahitabo, di ba? Now, kinsa ang nangutang, kinsa ang nagpautang. But why do we consider this as an investment? Okay? So, atong point of view this time is kita ang nagpautang. Okay? Our point of view is kita ang nagpautang. Allow me to share my screen. Okay. Tayo ang nagpapautang. We are still the investor here. Investor gihapon ang tawag sa atua. However, katong investee, katong atuang gi-investan nga company, this time ang tawag natin sa kanya is issuer. So kung balikan nato si equity securities or equity investment, we have magsuko kay siya. Okay. We have investor here, and then we have the investee here. Balikan na to sa equity securities ha. Investor, investee. Kinsa ganita dito? Kita si investee. Si investor maghatag og kwarta kang investee. Bibigay siyang pera. Babayaran niya ang shares na bibilhin niya kay investee. Ito yung equity investment or ito yung previous topic natin na investment in associate. So, on the perspective of the investor, this is an asset. On the perspective of the investor, it's an asset. Basically, pwede siyang maging IIA, investment in associate. Pwede siyang financial asset at fair value or financial asset at fair value through OCI or P&L, etc. So, it's an asset. And basically, pag IIA, we consider it as non-current. Pero katong mga fair value like trading securities, sometimes it is a current asset. Investee, on the other hand, sa iyahang point of view, ang kadtong gihatag niya nga shares, in exchange, nahimo tong addition sa iyahang equity or sa iyahang capital. Gani, there was an ownership na nahitabo. Purchase of ownership. Di ba equity is equity is where the ownership of your shareholders exists, parang ganon. Andun yung ownership. Andun yung mga nilalagay mong money dun sa mga partly owners or shareholders na nagbigay or bumili ng shares mo. Okay? So, tuyok-tuyok na ako ang ginaingon, magigutom na jud ko. Okay. So, this is investment in equity securities. Ito yung topic natin for the previous investments na na-discuss. However, let's proceed to investment in bonds. Ano naman itong investment in bonds? The same. We have an investor here. Meron pa rin tayong investor and meron pa rin tayong investee. But this time, kani nga tong investee, dili na investee atong ginatawag. But we call this issuer. Saan ang issuer, ma'am? Kanang tigbuhat og issue? Issuer ka ay chismis. Hindi. Issuer here is the company na nag-i-issue ng bonds. That means, investor will give money. Actually, hindi give pautang to. Wala nang give sa panahon ngayon. Pautang to. Magbibigay siyang pera as utang dun sa company na mag-i-issue sa kanya ng bonds. Naman jud mo'y time mag-internet, no? Gusto ninyo makita ang sample unsa ng bond indenture? Pwede mo siyang i-search. Bond indenture. Okay? Makikita nyo doon, sa forma sa bonds. Mura na siya share certificate. Kaso sa bonds, manggod kadalasan is na siya sa denomination of 100, 1,000, 10,000. So, 0. Wala kayo makita nga bonds nga tag 5, tag 50. Okay, bihira ra jud kay na. But in the Philippines, we are using the denomination na 100, 1,000, or 10,000. Okay, dili parehas sa share certificate nga pwede ka mamaligya sa imong shares og 5, pwede ka mamalig 15, 20 ing ana. So yun yung kaibahan ng bonds. So ngayon si issuer magbibigay ng bonds. Unsa kay datong bond? Bond is a formal unconditional promise to pay. Mura siya og kana ganing promissory note. Oh, I think familiar mo ng promissory note basta ting exam, right? Hatag mo din mo promissory note dito sa BO. So, mura siyang promissory note ni issuer nga, okay, gunitin ni, tapos, maunang nagapamatuod nga na ako'y utang sa imuha. And speaking of that, this investment is actually a contract of debt. This is actually utang. Kaya lang, on the side or on the point of view of the investor, syempre nagpautang siya. Nagpautang tayo. Investor tayo dito, right? Nagpautang tayo. Sooner or later, babayaran niya ang utang niya. So, on our part, naatay receivable. Tama? Kaso, mas malaking kontrakto eh. So, hindi lang siya simpleng notes receivable or accounts receivable. Mas malaki. Okay? So, this is what we call an investment in bonds. Kasi may bonds na kasali. Hindi katulad sa notes. Kung receivable lang siya nga simpleng receivable dahil may promissory note, we call it notes receivable. Pero kung receivable siya tungod kay nagpautang ka in exchange sa kaning bonds nga gi-issue ni issuer, we will consider it or recognize it as investment in bonds. And this investment in bonds is actually an asset on our part or normally a non-current asset. Okay? Unsa daw to? Investment in bonds. Okay? Now, if this is a contract of debt and asset para sa investor, para sa issuer, this is a liability. Unsa ganitong bond? Unconditional promise to pay. Therefore, naa siya'y liability nga mobayad gyud siya. Walay kondisyones. Okay? So, this is how we account or this is the concept of investment in bonds. And, okay, investment in bonds. And in this contract of debt, simply the issuer is the debtor, ang naiutang, and investor is the creditor, ang nagpautang. So, this is the concept of investment in bonds. So, how do we earn profit in such investment? So, di ba pag investment in shares or equity investment in associates, kadalasan maka-profit ta pinaagi sa ilahang share in profit. Tama? Share in profit. Pwede din na maka-profit ta pinaagi sa dividends. Or hindi naman siya profit, pero at least natay madawat nga cash pinaagi sa dividends, right? And some other. Sa financial asset at fair market value, how do we earn? We earn through changes in fair value. Tama? Or pwede sa ato ang pagbaligya. Especially pag trading securities ta. Diba? We buy and sell, buy and sell. So, ato lang ginabantayan ang market value sa stocks. Buy and sell, buy and sell. But, when it comes to bond investment, how do we earn from here? Actually, the main source of benefit is interest. Main source, wala ko naging only source. Interest. Siyempre, nagpautang ka. So, unsa man ang pamaagi aron makaginansya ka na imuhang pautang? Siyempre, maghatag kag interest. So, what do I mean by that? Let's have this problem. So, I will stop sharing now. I hope nakuha ra to ninyo. Okay. Please Please answer this problem. Isasend ko ulit sa messenger. Please answer this. Sorry po, naglolo ko pa. Okay. Ay, anyway, napaday ko yung dungag. Interest. When we talk about investment in bonds, kadalasan sa interest ana semi-annually. Okay? In a year, ikaduha ta maka-receive og interest every 6 months. Pwedeng January 1, tapos June or February, tapos July. Basta tinag 6 months na siya kadalasan. Okay? So, mao na siya ang usa sa unique feature sa investment in bonds. Pag notes receivable, loans receivable, kadalasan 1 year or annual ang interest. Pero pag abot sa bonds, semi-annual. So, nindot kayo ang interest, kaduha sa isa ka tuig ka makaginansya. Ganun yon. Okay? Now, let's have this Yost company. Let's start with mature, rather. Okay. Held for trading. Mura lang gihapon ni siya trading securities. Kaso nga lang, utang. So, please take time analyzing mature company. Ayan. My question is, how much is the carrying amount of the bonds at year end? Yes, drill po. So, mag-self-answer lang sa glamour. Okay? So, yung ganun pa rin, graded recitation. Ay, hindi mo siya recitation, but a graded drill. Mature company compute for the carrying amount of the bonds held for trading at year-end. May dalawang klase ng bonds yan eh. So, please specify the CA of each investment. Eat. Ikaw na ka?
Kani, tapos layer with dressing, then kaning lentils.
Sana ang dami kong time gawin yan, no? Beer. Kita bito ko mag-visual. Isa lang din kakamot ako magamit.
Ito ko.
Wow, sarap naman ito, beer. More. Nama ko lentils dire. Ano ba? Kagubot ba? Tagak. Gaston ko diron. ko. Magklases ako, ha, kadali. Ay, wala. Lubat na ko, baby. Lubat na ko. Matay na naman. Ay, nakalimutan ko mag-charge. Hello, check mic test. Hello, hello. Ayan. So, bakit wala pa rin sumasagot? Mahirap ba? First problem pa gani? Held for trading lang siya. So, pasabot, we will consider nga ang iyang carrying amount, maapektuhan lang siya sa changes in fair value. Di ba pag held for trading, kay nagabantay lang man ta sa changes in fair value. So, murag yapon siya equity, securities. Kaso nga lang, nanatay interest. Okay? The highlight of this, nanatay interest income na ato ang gina-consider. Sige? Walang answer? Okay. Ako na lang mag-answer. Sige, sabay-sabay tayo. Mature company carried out the following transactions in bond investments held for trading during the current year. So, nipalit siya bonds and then later, iyan na po ning ibaligya. Okay? So, ingana lang. Let's prepare journal entries para atong mas masabtan. That was August 1. Ay, walang year. Sige, August 1. August 1 purchased 5,000, 1,000, 12% bonds of Acme Company at 104. So when we say 104, it means 104%. Plus the accrued interest of 150. So, nindot din na problem. Hindi na natin kailangan i-compute yung accrued interest. Binigay niya na. Diba? So, that means we debit trading securities, and we debit as well our interest income. Unsa ang concept ani nasa inyong module. And we credit cash. Trading securities, that would be at fair value. So that's 5,000 kabuok bonds times 1,000 kada isa. So that's 5,000 times 1,000. Times, gibaligya daw nato at 104. So that's 1.04 kasi 104% yan. Therefore, the trading securities is 5.2 million. Binigay niya na yung interest, that's 150,000. Therefore, ang total na atong gibayaran is 5.35 million. That's our entry for August 1. Let's proceed to August 31. Purchase 2,000, 1,000 peso, 12% bonds of Avco. So, ato na lang butangan og apelido para di ta masaag. Ito kay Acme. And then, ito naman, tama ba ako ang pagbasa? Is it Acme or whatever? Okay, trading securities. This time, kang Avco. Murag tingbunga og abukado ron. As far as I heard. Trading securities of Avco at 98 plus accrued interest. Hindi niya na binigay kung magkano ang interest. So, i-compute pa nato. And then, we credit cash. So, pila ang fair value? That's 2,000 times tag 1,000 pesos ang isa times gibaligya at 98. So, that's 0.98. Again, that's parang, ano siya ha? Para siyang 98%. So, i-convert mo lang yung 98 into decimal. So, 98%, that's 0.98. So, that will yield to 1.96. And, interest, if you could notice, ang payment daw sa iyahang interest is June and 30. So, every June 30 and December 31, makadawat ta og interest. But what happened here is, nipalit ta og shares or nipalit tag bonds sa tunga-tunga. Not on the date of interest. So, mag-release og next nga interest December 31 pa. Pero nagpalitag August 31. So, gikan June 30 to August 31, therefore, naanatay pila ka months nga accrued interest. That would be June 30, July, and then August 1. So, that's barely 1 month lang Tama? June 30. July, August 31 nga pala. So, that's 2 months. June 30 to August 31, 2 months. Therefore, we have 2,000 times 1,000 times pila ang rate? That's 12% bonds for 2 months nga accrued. 2 months, that means duha ka bulan ang nilabay gikan sa last releasing of income. Interest income specifically. When was the last time nga naghatag og interest income? June 30, right? So, from June 30 until the date kung kanus ata ni palit, August 31, 2 months ang nilabay. So, that is what we call the accrued interest. Okay? So, that would be 2 million times 12% times 2 months over 12 months. Kasi annual yung 12%. So, we have a total of 2 million na bayron nun kang Avco company. Now, let's proceed to December 30. December 1. Kasi, ayan, nagsawa na tayo, binenta na natin. Binenta na natin ang 2,000. Although, hindi naman lahat. Kasi meron tayong 5,000 bonds kay Acme Company. Pero, binenta natin ang 2,000 of that. Binenta natin at 102 plus accrued interest. Ma'am, andyan na naman yung accrued interest. Yes, andyan na naman yung accrued interest because going back to that company, ang iyahang ting bayad, okay? Ting sweldo, ting bayad og interest was May 1 and November 1. Gibaligya nato og December 1. When was the last time nga nag-release og interest ang company? Asa man pinakadoon? May or November? That's November, tama? Last November 1, nagbayad og interest. December 1, gibaligya. Pila ka months ang nilabay? That is 1 month, right? So, naay 1 month nga accrued interest, but this time, since gibaligya naman nato ni, dili na kita ang makadawat sa accrued interest.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Ay, yes. Ano po yun?
Nag-share screen ka, ma'am.
Nag-share ko. Hindi nyo ba nakikita? Ay, sorry. O, ayan. Thank you. Thank you. Nag-share screen si ma'am. Thank you. Okay, ayan. So, eto na yon. Okay, so, balik ko na ako. Sige, i-review na lang. Anyway, recorded naman to eh. So, proceed ta ha sa December 1. I'm so sorry, I forgot to share the screen. Okay, December 1, gibaligyan na to ang 2,000. That means we're going to credit the trading securities here ni Acme. Awkward ni Acme. Okay, pero ang atong gibaligya is just 2/5. Okay? So, that means 5,200,000 magikan nadrio sa August 1 times 2/5. That's 2,000 lang ang atong gibaligya over the 5,000 ownership nato. So that means we eliminate the 2.08 million. And together with that, apil-an na nga bond is the interest. Okay? Interest income. We credit interest income. Ganito kasi yon. Ang bond, ang investment, naa siya sa atong mga kamot, okay, from November 1, which was the last time nga naghatag og income. So, atong next nga releasing of income, so ang atong point of view diri kita ang mudawat ha, the next time nga makadawat ang income, sa May 1 pa. Okay? So, from November 1, going to May 1, that's 6 months. Kay, di ba tinag 6 months man, semi-annual? That's 6 months. Pero, wala na ta nakaabot og May 1. In fact, on December 1, atong gibaligya ang bonds. Therefore, from November 1, katong last time nga nag-release og income or interest, until December 1, kung kanusan nato gibaligya, gigunita nato ang bonds for 1 month. Okay? Therefore, kung naa sa imuha ang bonds for 1 month, you are subject or you should enjoy the 1 month income in the form of interest. So, let's say, gibaligya nato kay Juan ang kaninga bonds. Si Juan, ang iyaha lang pwedeng i-enjoy is the 5 months nga interest, hindi ang buong 6 months. Kasi again, kita ang nigunit sa bonds for 1 month. Therefore, as of 12/1 or December 1, we are to recognize that income, the 1 month income. Pero, dito lang sa 2,000 nga bonds. Kasi anyway, the remaining 3,000, hindi naman natin binenta. So, kita gihapon ang mag-enjoy ana pag abot sa May 1. So, that is 2 million, that's 2,000 times 1,000, times the 12%, times the 1 month nga sa atoa natulog ang investment. That means we have an income of 20,000 which will be paid by someone na nipalit sa ato ang investment. Okay? So, gibaligyan na to investment kay Juan. Oh, ayan Juan, may 2 million investment ka na. Pero alam mo ba, kami bayay nagunit ana for 1 month. So, bayaran mo din kami dun sa interest na kami ang nagunit for 1 month. So, kasali yan sa babayaran ni Juan. So, that would be 2 million. Ay, pila bang atong pagkabaligya? 2 million times 102. Ayan, nakalagay. Gibayaran ta ni Juan og 1.02. So that would be 2.04 ang sales price. Pero ana ta Juan apili og bayad ang interest kay kami ang nagunit for 1 month. So, ang total payment na madawatan nato kay Juan would be 2.06 million. Now, kung 2.06 ang atuang nadawatan, pero ang atuang gi-give up, the 2.08 and the 20,000, will there be a gain or a loss? Diri pa lang daan, oh. Sa carrying amount, murag lugi na kay ta. Tama? Therefore, we have a loss on sale of trading securities. Pila man ang loss on sale? Kung pila ang ato ang carrying amount versus pila ang pagbaligya. Ang pagbaligya nato was 2 million times 1.02. Tama? That's 2.04. Minus, ang carrying amount nato was 2.08. Na-compute na nato, andyan sa credit. Therefore, there is a loss of 40,000. Ayan, there is a loss of 40,000. So, ato nang i-add 2.06 plus 40,000, that's 2.1 million. Credit, ganun din. 2.08 plus 20,000, that's 2.1 million. Okay? So, again, how do we compute for any gain or loss? This time, loss. Sales price. Walay labot ang interest, ha? Katulang 1.02 minus the carrying amount. So, yun sa nato pag-compute ang carrying amount, gikuha lang nato ang proportion niya sa 5,000 nga ato ang gipalit initially on August 1. And please consider pila nimo ka bulan gigunitan ang investment. Kung pila ka bulan naa kay income dapat ana. So that income dapat bayaran pod sa kung kinsa man ang nipalit sa imuhang investment. So kasali 'yon. Okay? Now on December 31, the following quotations were obtained. Ayan. So, si Acme Bonds, you have 98. Pila na lang ba ang carrying amount ni Acme? Di ba 3,000 na lang man ka bonds ang nabilin sa iya, ha? Okay, so, tang na to diri, ha? Acme. That is, at the beginning na siya 5.2, pero nakabaligya ta og 2.08, therefore nanalay nabilin nga 3.12. Pero ang iyahang fair value was 3,000 shares times tag 1,000 ang kada isa times 0.98. Is there a gain or loss? There is a change in fair value and this time it's a loss. Tama? So there is a loss of 180. That is for Acme. And then, for Avco, however, ganun pa rin, 1.96. Wala man ta na maligya. Pero at the end of the year, 99 na lang daw. Is there a gain or loss? Ayan, meron tayong gain. This from this. Ayan. There's a gain. Baliktad ako ang computation. So, this is a loss and this is a gain. Okay. So, that's it. Now, let us recognize the gains and the losses based on the changes in fair value. For Acme Company, we have unrealized loss and TS Trading Securities 180,000. And for Avco Company, we have an increase, right? And that would be unrealized gain. That is 20,000. Anyway, nakalimot di ay ko. Di ba maghatag man og interest kada May 1 og November 1. So dapat somewhere diri nakadawat pa di ay taunta og interest gikan kang Acme Company. So that is November 1. Ay, sorry. Andito pa pala si November 1. Ayan. So, dito. On November 1, nakadawat ta og cash and interest income. Based ni kay Acme ha, pila man ang ato ang interest income sa iya ha. This time, wala pa ta nakabaligya og 2,000 bonds. So, ang ato ang nadawatan is hello? 5 million. Trying to connect. Okay. 5 million times 12% times 6 over 12 kasi semi-annual. Ayan. And on December 31, makadawat pud ta og interest gikan kay Avco Company. So, December 31, meron din tayong interest from Avco. Cash, interest income na how much? Pila ang kay Avco? 2 million times 12% times 6 divided by 12. So, that would be 120,000. Okay, 120,000. So, nakadawat na tag-interest. But, eto, mao ni siya ang medyo kuti pag-abot sa bonds. Kasi from time to time, kailangan mong malaman, kailangan mong maging updated kung kanusa siya maghatag og interest. Kaning nga interest income, this is for Avco, right? Wala tay problema kay for that December 31, nagbayad siya cash. Ito namang November 1, this is for Acme. Ayan, nakabayad sila on time. However, on December 31, that should be our reporting date. Dapat makareport ta og interest income ana na time. However, si Acme, kanunsa man siya next na magbayad? May, tama? May 1 pa siya next na magbayad. So, kung May 1 pa siya next na magbayad, dapat ta na ay receivable, accrued interest receivable for December 31. And we consider it as interest income. So, balikan na po nato ang concept. Pila na kabulan nato ginagunitan ang ato ang investment kay Acme. When was the last time nga nagbayad siya og interest? November. Eto. Good for the 5,000 to. Kasi 5,000 bonds pa lang man ang naa sa iya ani nga time. However, on December 1, nakabaligya ta og 2,000. Pero wala na problema kay gibayaran man pod sa buyer ang income nga supposedly atong ma-earn ana nga 2,000 bonds. But on December 31, wala tay income for the 5 months nga atong gigunitan ang bonds. Bakit 5 months? Ay, 2 months lang pala. From November 1 to December 31. So, November, December. Wala tayo na-earn. Wala tayo na-record. So, dapat mag-record ta. So, that would be 3,000 na lang. Kasi gibaligya na nato ang 2,000. times 12% times the 2 months nato siya gigunitan from November 1, the last payment. So that would be, ba't parang ang liit? Oge. 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 That's 3 million times 12% times 2 divided by 12. 60,000. Okay. 60,000. And since wala pa man siya naghatag og cash, kasi kanong sagay siya maghatag, on May 1 pa lang. So we consider it as interest receivable lang sa. Okay. Kung ato ning padayunon, on 1/1/20, ay, wala pa lang year to, no? So let's say 1/1 next year. Okay? Next year. This entry should be reversed. Reversed, unsay pasabot sa reversed, balihon lang. Interest income and then credit, accrued interest receivable. Ma'am, bakit i-reverse? To make accounting easier. Ha? Easy, ma'am? Yes. Para the moment, pag-abot sa May 1, magbayad na siya interest, simple lang ato ang entry. Cash, and then interest income. Pila to? For 6 months? Pariha sa November 1. That is, kaso 3 ano na lang, di ba? 3 million times 12% times 6 divided by 12. Ayan, 180,000. Okay. So, kailangan na to siya i-reverse para pag-abot diri sa May 1, ing-ani na lang atong entry. Good for 6 months. Kung wala ta nagbuhat og reversing entry, kay di ba going back to the basic accounting, ayan, basic ha, so I assume kabalo na mo ani. Going back to basic accounting, reversing entries are optional. Okay? Pwedeng mag-reverse, pwedeng dili. Optional. Pero dili tanang entries pwede i-reverse. Unsa lang man ang pwedeng i-reverse? Accruals. That's one of the examples na pwedeng i-reverse ang accruals. Deferrals, they cannot. So, this is an accrual. Basically, nakita mo yung accrued. Accrual na. So, pwede siyang i-reverse. What if dili ta mag-reverse? Walang reversal na nangyari. So, on May 1, our entry will be, ganun pa rin, makaka-receive tayo ng cash na 180. Kaso, ang credit natin is dalawa. Accrued interest receivable. Tanggalin mo na yung receivable kasi nga na-receive mo na. That's 60,000. And interest income for the 4 months. Diba 4 months man to? So that's 3 million. 4 months kay nga naman, ato namang na recognize ang 2 months last year. Kaning 60,000 dire. So that's 12% times 4 divided by 12. So kung imo na siyang i-add, 180 pa rin. Ito yung magiging entry mo the moment nga mag-release na og interest. Kung wala ka nag-reverse. So, kailangan pa nimo ni i-close, kailangan pa nimo i-adjust si interest income. Unlike kung nag-reverse ka, hindi mo kailangang mag-analyze ng super bongga. I-reverse lang kung unsang imuhang entry last year and then ang imuhang income 6 months fixed gihapon ang computation. Unsa may kalahian? Walay kalahian. Nawala imong interest receivable dire. Ayan, gi-eliminate. Ganun din dito, na-eliminate din. Okay? Ang imuhang interest income, this is 60, pero na ay naka-credit nga 180. Pila ang net amount? 180 minus 60, di ba? Net amount 120. Kung kani mong gamiton, andito yun. Net amount 120. Walang difference. The same interest income, accrued interest receivable is eliminated, cash 180 pa rin. Kaya lang, for simplicity, this is ito yung ginamit ni Valix for the presentation of the discussion sa investment in bonds. And in accounting practice, we sometimes reverse entries for simplicity gani. Para ingani na lang kasimple on the date of payment of interest. So, ganun yon. Okay, so for the question, how much is the carrying amount of the bonds? Hala, ito lang yun. Oh, ito lang. 2.94, 1.98. Ano naglisod mo? 5 million times 98. Ito yun. Ay, 3 million di ay. Kaya nakabaligya naman tag 2,000. Tapos 2 million times 99. Ito yun. Kasi held for trading naman, di ba? So, di kailangan maglisod. Okay. So, before we proceed to some other drills or illustrative cases, ato sa ning ipadayon ng ato ang assignment. Okay? Bond investment. Problem number 3 talks about bullish company. Kung may mga pangutana, just raise it in the chat box. Chat box? Chat box. Required. Prepare journal entries to record the transactions, including receipt and accrued of interest. Receipt, pasabot na kadawat ta. Accrued, kanang panahon nga. Gigunita na nato, pero pagihapon siya nag-release, maybe because naabta na og cut-off. And cut-off, December 31, unless the problem states otherwise. And then we prepare statement presentation of the bond investment. Okay. So here are the details. Bullish company had the following transactions in bond investment held as trading. So, fair value lang ang ato ang focus dire. On March 1, prepare tag journal entries. On March 1, we purchased 2,000, 1,000 peso, 12% bonds of long. So, that would be trading securities. Butangan na ito apelyido long at 93, 2,000 at 1,093. And na kanang 93 wala pa nay labot interest. So therefore mag-compute pag yun tag interest. So interest income pila. That would be 2,000 times 1,000 times 12% times pila ka bulan before nato siya napalit. So ang interest is payable February and August. February and August. Ani na lang. Allow me to, para mas masabtan ninyo ha, magbuhat ang timeline. So, ako na ang nag-share karon. Ito ba yun? Oh, ito yun. Okay. Ganito yun. Ay, sorry. Nag-message kasi si Jefferson. Okay. Based lang gihapon ta dito sa problem. I mean, dito sa inyohang assignment. So, ang interest daw is payable February 1 and August 1. So, every year, every February o every August, magbayad og interest. So, ito yung magiging timeline. Putol ang timeline. Okay. This is February 1 and this is August 1. So, every Feb 1, every 8/1, na atay interest madawatan. Okay? Happiness. But, for this bond or bond investment held as trading kay long company, nipalit ta on March. So, Feb na ata diri sa March. March 1 ning palit. Therefore, 1 month ang nilabay bago ta nakapalit sa bond. So, gikan dire, padulong dinhi. Mao ni ang atong gibayaran nga accrued interest. So, mura siya katong kitagod ang namaligya. Di ba pag mamaligya ta kay Juan, ato man siyang paninglon sa panahon nga kita'y nagunit sa bonds or sa time nga kita ang nagagunit sa bonds, ato lang balihon ang point of view. This time, kita ang nipalit as if kita si Juan. Kung kaganina nagpabayad ta kay Juan, karon pabayron pud ta. Kay kita naman si Juan, kita naman tong nipalit. So, kailangan pud ta mo bayad aning 1 month nga dili kita ang naggunit. So, that is why sa ato ang problem, we need to pay 2 million times 12% times 1/12, kailangan nato mo bayad on top of the 93 nga gipaningil sa atoa or the sales price of the bonds. So, kung imo ding huna-hunaon, 'di ba this is 6 months, 'di ba? Ang kani nga span of time, this is 6 months. Ato lang siyang gipalit March 1. Therefore, ang atoa lang dayong happiness diri kanilang 5 months. Dapat 5 months lang na income ang atoang ma-earn. Kay 5 months lang man nato gigunitan ang bonds. Because the first 1 month, dili kita ang nagunit, kundi katong original nga owner or katong issuer sa bonds. Depende. Okay? So, balikan nato dire. Okay. Ayan. Kay kinsa namang share ang kay kinsa namang share. Kay kinsa namang screen ang makita karon. Is it is it still the whiteboard? Ay, yung whiteboard gyapon. Okay, ayan. Ito na. Dito na tayo sa presentation. Interest income therefore is 2 million times 12% times pila to tong gibayaran? 1/12. Kay dili kita ang nagunit ana nga time. So, that would be a debit to interest income. And then, what else? Yun lang. Credit na dayon tag, cash. Nagbayad na ta. It would be a total of 1.88 million. Are we good so far? Assignment nyo naman to, so I think medyo nakuha paguro ninyo ni nga time. Ninyo nga part. Okay, so April 1. Proceed ta sa April 1. On April 1, we purchased another inventory from another bond investment from National Corporation, still held for trading, so that's national, at 95. So that is 4 million times 95 plus accrued interest. So na po interest. So that would be interest income. And this time, do you want me to proceed gihapon dito sa drawing or na-gets na to? So, we have the last, ang iyahang bayad or ang iyahang schedule for payment is March 1 and September 1. Therefore, okay. Ay, sorry. Ay, sa manjod. Okay, ito na. Therefore, ang iyahan na pud na timeline karon would be, uy, hapit na saba among palibot ay. Okay, March 1 and September 1. So dito 'yon. March 1 and September 1. Dira ang happiness nga part of the year. And then atong gipalit on April 1, that is again 1 month ang nilabay. So kailangan nato magbayad og interest for 1 month. Therefore, ang atoa lang di ang benefit ani is kanilang 5 months. Kanilang na income ang atoang ma-enjoy. Okay? So ayon. Now, how much is that? This is going to be 4 million times 12% times 1/12. So that is 40,000. And therefore, we had a total payment of 3.8 plus 40,000. That's basically 3.84 million. Now, on October 1 na ba? Wait. Agian sa nato ang August 1. Si August 1, ma'am? Diba? Si Long Company, ang iyang happiness, February 1 and August 1. So, on August 1, maka-receive na tag cash and interest income. So, this is for 2 million times 12% times 6 over 12. That's 120,000. Let's notice. Ma'am, 6 lagi, 6 over 12 lagi mong gi-multiply. Di ba ang ato lang i-enjoy is 5 months based sa imong giingon kaganina? Yes, 5 months. Tanawa. Kung atong i-compute ang 5 months, that would be 2 million times 12% times 5 over 12, dapat ang atuang income lang is, ay, kagamay ba? Ay, mali akong formula. Dapat ang atuang income lang is 100,000. Hindi po 120. Which in fact is 100 naman talaga. Bakit? 120 atong gi-record on August 1. But take note, naatay gi-debit nga 20 the moment nga gipalit nato ang investment. That makes it 120 credit minus 20 debit equal gihapon sa 100 nga 5 months nga ato ang ma-enjoy ang income. Okay? Ayaw ka confuse nga nung 6 months. This is for simplicity. Actually, pwede man nga dili ing ani atong gamiton. Pwede ta mag-accrued diri Example ha, accrued interest receivable ang gigamit nato nga account. If that is accrued, dapat diri napud tay naka-credit nga accrued. Kaya ato man ang i-eliminate, hindi na siya accrued kasi nga na-collect na. 20. Therefore, kung 20 na, this would be 100,000. That would be a total of 100,000 para sa cash nga na-receive nato. The same lang gihapon, interest income, ang atong concern which is 100 and the receivable is now eliminated. The same gihapon, income is 100. But for simplicity's sake, Valix presented the interest income approach. So, kana na yung gigamit para dili na daghag hassle, dili na daghag i-eliminate nga account. Okay? So, that would be August 1. Now, ano pa ba? September 1. Okay? Nagbayad pod og income si or nagbayad og interest si national company. So, the same cash, debit, and then credit interest income. How much? That would be 4 million times 12% times 6. That would be 240,000. Ma'am, 6 gihapon? Yes. Pero actually, ang ato is just 4 million 12 months lang. That would be 200. But take note, this is 240, pero nakay debit diri nga 40, that makes it 200 lang na income. Ganon din yun. Okay? So that would be for September 1. Now, on October 1, we sold 1,000 of national bonds. So, namaligya ta. So, basically, makadawat ay cash. And kay gibaligya man nato, so mawala na siya national. Pero hindi lahat. Tama? 1,000 lang. Naman tay 4,000 bonds. Therefore, ang kaning 3.8, 1,000 lang over 4,000 ang atong gibaligya. So, that's 1/4. So, we eliminate the 950,000. So, gibaligya nato siya at 100 plus accrued interest. Ayan, may accrued interest pa. So, same lang gihapon ganina. Interest income. Now, this time, kita na pod ang namaligya. So, maningil na pod ta sa iya ha. Balik na pod ta sa atuang timeline. Okay, so, lahi na pod. Mag-share na pod kog screen. Okay. So, balik ta sa atuang timeline. This time, kita na pod ang namaligya. And ang atong gibaligya kay ka-national, so March 1 gihapon. March 1 and September 1. Ato nang gigunit-gunitan ang investment. Ato nang gipangga ang investment. Kaso, ay balihon nato. Kay dito siya sa tunga-tunga sa September 1 and March 1. Kaso, after 1 month lang, gibaligya nato ang investment for that is October 1. Okay? Gibaligyan nato ang investment after 1 month gikan the last time nga nag-release og interest. So, dito yon. Dapat mag-abot patag or magpaabot patag 6 months para makadawat og another set of interest income. Pero wala na ta kapaabot, gibaligya nato og October 1. Therefore, kani nga time, kita ang owner sa investment. Therefore, dapat naatay interest diri ang nga time. Pero kay gibaligya naman nato diri, so dili na nato ma-receive diri ang interest. Dili na nato ma-receive sa March 1. So, pagbaligya nato diri, dapat appeal si interest. So, that would be sales price plus your interest. Okay? Nakuha ra? Hopefully. Sige, so, balikan nato October 1 national bonds. So, that is 105 excluding interest. So, mag-compute na po tag-interest. But for the 1,000 only, 1,000 times 1,000 pesos times 12% times 1 month. So, that makes it 10,000 interest income sa 1 month nga atong gigunitan ang interest. Therefore, pila kaya? Ang ato ang bonds, gibaligya nato at 100. So, pasabot times 1. That's 1 million times 1. Basically, 1 million yon. Plus the 10,000 or plus, 105 di ay. So, October 1 pa day time, sorry. So, that means 1.05. So, that's 1,050,000 plus the interest nga 10,000. So, that's 1060. Okay? So, for our gain or loss, pila ang sales price? That is 1 million times 105. Pila ang carrying amount? That is 950. 950. Was there a gain or loss? Ang carrying amount, 950. Gibaligya og 1.50. Therefore, there is a gain. And that is credited to gain on sale of trading securities national. That is 100,000. Ayan. That is October 1. Now, let's have December 1. On December 1, we sold long bonds at 100 plus accrued interest. And gibaligya na to tanan ang kay long. So, pila ba ang ato ang trading securities long? I think wala namang changes. That was 1.86 million. Now, plus accrued interest. Napag accrued interest di ay ni silong na kano sa ang last time nga naghatag og interest si long? That was on August 1. Ito. So, from August 1 to December 1, pila ka months? That's August, September, October, November. That's 3 months. Therefore, 3 months nato gigunitan ang bonds. Sayang naman yun, di ba? So, pila ganitong face amount? That's 2 million. 2 times 12% times 3 months nato gigunitan. Therefore, naatay income na, is it 60? August, September, October, November. I'm sorry, that was 4 months di ay. Sayang, 2 months na lang unta. Ka-receive na ta. Okay lang, bayaran man po na sa buyer. So, that's 80,000 accrued interest. So, pila ta na nang gibayad? That was 2 million times 100 or 1, kasi 100 times 1. That's 2 million times 1 plus accrued interest nga 80,000 based sa itong na-compute ka ganina. Therefore, we received cash of 2.08 million. So, balikan natin sa on pag-compute sa gain or loss. Selling price, that was 2 million. 2 million times 1. And your carrying amount nga 1,860. Therefore, a difference of 140,000 which is a gain. Mas dako ang selling price kaysa sa carrying amount. So, gain on sale of TS, 140,000. And lastly, on December 31, the market value of national bonds is 90. So on December 31, nag-increase si national bonds, nahimo na siyang 90. So that would be 3 million times 0.9. Ay, nagtaas ba? Compute nato dere. Before, ang carrying amount, taas naman good kay, nalibog na. A carrying amount ni national bonds was 3.8. Ito, 3.8, pero nakabaligya ta og 950. So, ang nabili na lang na carrying amount is 38 minus 950. Ito na lang. And the fair value this time, kasi nga trading securities to, is that was 3,000 or 3 million, that's 3,000 times 1,000 times the 90%. Ma'am, nga 3,000? Kasi nga, di ba, 4,000 yun originally, tapos nakabaligya tag 1,000 on October 1. So, 3,000 na lang nabilin. So, the fair value is 2.7. So, looking at the figures, there is a decrease. Therefore, this is unrealized loss and credit to TS National. That is a decrease of 150,000. So that would be our entry for October 31. But again, ayog kalimti nga naatay accrued interest receivable and interest income. Sa asa, wala na tay accrued kay long. Ngano man, ato naman gibaligya. So wala na tay investment kay long. Ang nabili na lang nato nga investment kay national. When was the last time nga nagbayad ta og or naka-receive ta og interest kay national? That was on September 1. So from September 1 to December 31, atong gigunita ng investment pero wala pa tay na-receive nga cash as interest income kasi ang next payment was or the next payment is on March 1 pa. So from September, October, November, December, that's 4 months accrued interest. So that would be 120,000 accrued interest for national bonds. Now, for statement, presentation of the bond investment, dali lang. We have current asset, kasi basically this is trading securities, national bonds, trading securities, national bonds, that is 3 million times 90 or 90%. At 90 na lang. At 90. And that would be part of our disclosure. How much is this? This is 2,700,000. So that would be our presentation for the bond investment. Wala na tayong long, binenta na natin lahat. Okay? So, that is our problem number 3. Problem number 4, ganun pa rin naman. It's a bond investment, but this time, bond outstanding method ang gagamitin. So, ito, please, let's answer this one muna. I know it's already 11. Ito lang. Pang last. Kasi yung next na topic is about, is about effective interest method. So, kanilang sa, ha? To sa ning tiwason. Okay. Bond investment using bond outstanding method. Prepare a schedule of the amortization. Okay. On October 1, complex company purchased 12%, 3 million face amount for 2.7 excluding accrued interest. So this time, this is a fair financial asset at amortized cost. So kung amortized cost, dili na ta magsigig adjust og fair value. Okay? Ato na lang i-consider ang premium og ang discount. So, mag-share na napod kog screen diri sa Pikas, ha? Okay. So, ganito yon. Uy, kadaghan na ba? Asa naman tani? Okay, darita. Let's talk about amortization. Kaning bonds, na mga panahon nga dili gyud na equal ang face amount ug ang pagpalit sa bonds. Unsa man ning face amount? Simple lang, kung unsa tong nasa face sa imong certificate or we sometimes call it bond indenture. So sa tuang previous na mga illustration, kana ganing moingon siya og 2,000, 1,000 bonds. Ang face amount ana imo ra nang i-multiply, that is 2 million. Pag moingon siya 5,000, 1,000 bonds. Pasabot ana ang face amount, that is 5 million. Our goal is at the end of the line. Okay? At maturity, kanang mahuman na jud ba? Mahurot na gyud og bayad ang tanang bayro nun. Ang ato ang goal is dapat si carrying amount of bonds should be equal to face amount. This is our goal. Pero pagpalit nato sa bonds, of course, this seldom happens unless in some rare cases. So pag mopalit og bonds, for example katong kay bullish ka ganina, 'di ba? 2 million, naka 93, nagpalit ta pero atong gibayaran is 1.86, ang carrying amount 1.86, or katong kay national ka ganina naka 3.8 even though iyang face amount 4 million. So dili gyud na siya mag-equal. Now here's the thing. Dili sila mag-equal because there is an implied interest in that amount. Let me draw this. It's like this. Nay mga panahon nga imuhang carrying amount is greater than your face amount. Pag makabantay gani kag gi-purchase siya og sobra 100. For example, you purchased an investment or a bond investment at 105. Pasabot sobra 100. So, kung ingan ang case na nakay-hint that carrying amount is greater than your face amount. Pero pag less than gani, it's the other way around pod. Okay? So, if this is the case, the carrying amount is greater than the face amount, buhatag bar graph. This is your carrying amount and this is your face amount. Unsa ganito ato ang goal? Carrying amount should be equal to face amount. Therefore, kana si carrying amount, kailangan nato na siya panaogon para mo equal sila ni face amount. Kailangan nato siya panaogon, kailangan nato siya i-drag pababa, and that panaog is what we call the premium. The difference between your carrying amount and your face amount is called the premium. And premium is actually para siyang loss. Okay? It's actually a loss on the part of the investor. Kinsa kita diri? Di ba kita man si investor? Ma'am, nganong loss? Imagine, ang ato ang goal, face amount. For example, imuhang face amount is just 1 million. Pero at initial recognition, initial acquisition, nagbayad kag 1.5 million. Unsa gani ang goal? Face amount. Nagbayad ka 1.5. Therefore, sobra imong gibayad. On your part, nadihado ka. Tama? Nadihado ko 1 million akong apas pero ang akong gibayad 1.5. So this is aka loss. And if this is aka loss, our journal entry in amortization of your premium is debit interest income. Pasabot bawasan si interest income kasi loss nga, di ba? and we credit the investment itself or investment in bonds in this case. Okay, XX ang amount. Okay? Nakuha ba? Naka tawag ani? Naka-follow ra? Okay. And this premium kanang difference din ha. Dili na siya one time ato ang i-record. Kundi ato na siyang i-record as time passes by. Depende sa term. For example, 4 years nato gigunita ng investment. So 4 years pud nato na ihinay-hinay og decrease. So staggered ba? Okay? Staggered ang pagbaba sa carrying amount. And that term is what we call amortization. Okay? Amortization over the passage of time. Amortization. So this is in the case where carrying amount is greater than your face amount. Okay, Miming is in the house. There might be times that your carrying amount is less than your face amount. So, buhatag bar graph na pod. Ay, sorry. Carrying amount nimo is andito. Imuhang, nga na jud kadako. Carrying amount is andito. Imuhang face amount is ito. And kinakain na ng pusa ang breakfast ko. Ayan. This is carrying amount. This is face amount. Unsa ganito ang goal? Goal nato si face amount. So, dapat musaka ta kay para atong maabot ang face amount. The difference of this is what we call the discount. And this discount is actually your AKA gain. Kung loss tong isa, kani gain. Nganong gain? Imagine, example, that your carrying amount is 1 million. Mao nito imong gibayad at the time of acquisition. Pero ang imuhang goal at the end of the line, dapat 1.5 ang imuhang ma-receive. Therefore, ning bayad ka gamay, pero ang imuhang ma-receive, dako. So, para siyang gain. Tama? And how do we record this gain? Simply debit IIB or ang imuhang investment itself, and you credit interest income. Because this is a gain, you recognize an income. Okay ba? So far, naka-follow? Okay, and again, this discount is recognized in an installment. Parang installment basis, hindi agad-agad. So, hinay-hinayan lang siya og recognize, and that process we call again amortization. Not recorded outright, but throughout the period. Okay? So, this is how you account for your bond investment. And this discount and premium or the amortization itself, pwede natong gamitan og lahi-lahi nga methods. The standard provides 3 methods of amortization. First, we have the straight line or the SLM, straight line method. Uniform lang kada month. We also have this bond outstanding method. This is actually applicable pag imong bonds is serial. Unsay pasabutan ng serial? Kanang installment nga ginabayaran ng imuhang principal payment, dili lump sum. Every year ginabayaran ang principal, dili lang kay ang interest. Or we could also have the effective interest method. Okay, the effective interest is sometimes called the scientific method, and according to PFRS 9, this effective interest method should be used if you are concerned about investment in bonds, or if you have investment in bonds, this is what PFRS 9 wants us to use. And this is what we are going to tackle the next meeting. But this time, ang atong problem number 4 is about, ano lang man siya. It is about bond outstanding method. Okay? This is just about bond outstanding method. So, atong dalian, do we still have time? 11:15. Pa-extend lang sa jud ko gamay ha. Okay. Sige. Bahalag nagkagamay na lang punta. Okay. Let's prepare schedule of amortization. So, in a typical bond amortization, using bond outstanding, you have year, you have your bond outstanding, you have your fraction, and you have the amortization. Ing-ani lang ang typical. Let's analyze. Sige, BO na lang ako ibutang ha para mas mubo. Okay. On October 1, so it happens on October 1, 2020, nagpalit ta og 3 million face amount. Okay? Mao na atong goal. But if you could notice, 3 million ang goal pero ang atong gibayran 2.7. So unsa ni, discount or premium? This is parang gain, tama? Gamay lang atong gibayad, ang atong goal 3 million. So this is gain, so this is basically a discount. Amortization of discount. So that's 2.7 excluding the accrued interest to be held as financial asset at amortized cost. The date of the bonds is Feb 1 and the interest is on Feb 1 and August 1. So if you notice, wala ta ni palit on interest date. So mag-expect na punta nga nani interest income. Accrued interest income. The bonds mature at the rate of 1 million on Feb 1, 2020. Tapos every February 1, magbayad og 1 million hangtod sa mahurot ang 3 million nga face amount. Sana all, no, kada February makadawat og 1 million. Anyway, ayan. Let's start with year 1. On year 1, actually hindi talaga siya year eh. Bakit? Kasi hindi natin siya nabili ng Feb 1, 2020. Ana pa dire, the bonds mature on Feb 1, 2020. Pero was it Feb 1, 2020? Okay. Pero, napalit nato siya October 1, 2019. Tama? So, the moment nga atong nagunitan ang bonds, that was only October 1, 2019 until yung first payment, kanusa man ang first payment, Feb 1, 2020. Kana lang. And then, the next term is 2/1/2020 hangtod 2/1/20. Normal na dayon nga tinag 1 year. Okay. Now, how much is the bond outstanding as of October 1 hangtod February 1? Pila ang outstanding? That's 3 million. Ngano man, ma'am? Feb 1, 2020 pa man ang first payment. Ayan, oh. So, until Feb 1, 3 million gihapon na. But starting Feb 1, 2020 hangtod next year, since nagbayad naman siya 1 million, 2 million na lang. And then eventually, 1 million na lang ang mabilin. So, if you could notice, supposedly, kung 1 year lang unta ni, pwede na ta mo diretsyo. The illustration that you have in the module, so that's according to the book na din, ito lang yon. Kasi, wala tayong problema sa year. 1 year. Pero kung tanaw na to din kaning year 1, hindi to 12 months. Nasa kuan lang, October 1 hangtod Feb 1, 2020. That's October, November, December, January. Therefore, we need to put here an additional column. Let's consider this. How many months outstanding? That is 4 months lang. Okay? So that's a 4. And this one, tinag 12 na ni, kay 1 year naman ni. Therefore, para makuha nato ang fraction, ato lang sang i-multiply kung pila ang amount na outstanding given this period. So what do I mean by that? Let's compare it into a peso amount. And the peso amount here is 3 million times 4. So ato bang itanawo ng average? Kibali. Nga na siya. Nga ng concept. Ayan. So naano tay total karon nga 48 million. Pwede na nato diri i-base ang atuang fraction. Pila gani ang amortization? That's 3 million versus 2.7. We have an amortization of 300,000. And the fraction here is 12 over 48, 24 over 48, and 12 over 48. So that gives us, okay, so, pwede ako sa ning igamay kaya I think di na ni makita sa tong video. Ay. Sige, hindi gihapon. Okay. So, this will give us an amortization of 300,000 times 12 over 48, 300,000 times 24 over 48, and another 300,000 times 12 over 48. So, ato na siyang i-add tanan. That will yield on the same 300,000 actually. So, this is how we're going to assess kung pila ang amortization for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Ay, wala na pang year 4. For until Feb 1, 2022. So, we're going to prepare journal entries for this. Let's begin with October 1, 2019. So, that is a debit of investment in bonds and your interest income nga accrued. Investment in bonds, that is 2.7. And your accrued is 3 million times 12% times pila ka months gikan sa last payment. Ang last payment, August 1, August, September, so that's 1 month. 1 divided by 12, so you have an accrued interest income of, tama ba? August, September, 2 months. 2 months pala. So that would be 60,000 accrued interest income. Therefore, you have a cash and trying to connect. Wala naman akong internet. Okay, ayan. That's cash of 2.76 million. Okay. And then, the next thing is on February, or yes, 12/31. On 12/31, 2019, 12/31/19, we're going to recognize the accrued interest receivable and debit and credit interest income. How much is the accrued? That is 3 million times pila ka months ang nilabay. That's August, September, October, November, December. That is going to be 5 months over 12 times 0.12 times 5. That is 150,000. What else? On the same year or on the same date, December 31, 2019, we are going to amortize the discount. And how do we amortize discount gani? We have IIB and then credit to interest income. By how much? For year 1, we need 75,000. So that would be 75,000, but hindi naman yan hanggang Feb 1, 'di ba? Hanggang Feb 1 yung first amortization, pero hanggang December 31 pa lang man ta, kay December 31 is reporting date. That means October, November, December. That's 3 months lang. Therefore, there is 75 October, November, December. So that's 3 divided by 4 months. That would be 56 to 50 amortization of our bonds. So on 2020, however, on 1/1, atong i-reverse ang accrued income or interest. So, reverse the 150 accrued interest receivable. And then, on February 1. On February 1, ayan, daghan na tag mga entries this time. On February 1, first, we are going to receive the interest income. Kay di ba ting release man basta February 1 and that would be 3 million times 12 times 6 divided by 12. Semi-annual, that is 180,000. On the same day, February 1, we also received an annual maturity. This is annual payment of our IIB. So, every year daw mag-mature siya og 1 million. So, makadawat ta og 1 million every Feb 1. But take note that, ayan, kaya siya naging 2 million na lang dito kasi nagbayad na tayo ng 1 million. But take note na on the same year, on 12/31/2020, we need to adjust our amortization gihapon. But before that, ato sang i-consider ang August 1 pala. Meron pa palang August 1, tama nga naman, kay mag-release na pod og interest August 1. So that's August 1, debit cash, credit, interest income, the same 180 for 6 months. And adto na ta sa 12/31. Okay. That is accrued interest receivable and interest income gihapon. The accrual is for pila na lang man. Accrual is 2 million na lang ang face amount kay di ba nabawasan naman og 1 million on February. So that's 2 million times 12% times pila ka months gikan sa last payment. August, September, October, November, December, that's 5 divided by 12. Therefore, our accrual is 100,000 na lang. And on the same day, on year end, December 31, we would want to amortize as well our investment in bonds. And ang amortization nato is first, ganito yon. For year 2020, naatay 1 month nga gikan sa diriya. Tama? Kay this 75,000 is for October 1, 2019 to February 1, 2020. Therefore, natay 1 month nga 2020 diri sa 75. And February 1, 2020 to February 1, 2021. Therefore, diri natay 12 months. That makes it 11 months. That makes it 12 months in total. 1 month gikan diri sa first and then 11 months sa ikaduha. Again, we are focusing on 2020. So, kwaon nato ang ratio diraa. So, that means in the first amortization, 75,000 times 1 month over 4, nganong over 4, good for 4 months man na, ayan o. And, sa ikaduha po, that was 150 times 11 months lang ang para sa 2020. You add the two, you will have 156,250. The amortization is 156,250. Okay? Ayan. 156,250. So that's how we account for bond investment using the bond outstanding method. So, straight line per month yon. So, maybe next time we could have a drill sa straight line. And then, tomorrow, we will talk about bond investment using the effective interest method. And we're going to talk about as well our reclassification of investments and lastly, your investment property. So, hopefully, ato na siyang mahuman tomorrow. Hopefully, struggle. Sige lang. So, ayun, that is for today's topic sa investment in bonds.